Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor. I'm very new to BookTube, so if you are here watching this video, it is a miracle. Thank you for being here. I am just so excited to start making really fun videos and just giving my opinions about the books that I've been reading. I used to be really into reading books in elementary school, middle school, a little bit of high school. After that, I started working and kind of just lost my passion for reading, and literally just in 2024 in January I got this enthusiasm, I guess, to start reading again, and I have just been like reading, listening to audiobooks anytime I can't read physical books, you know what I mean, or on my wonderful Kindle. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of booktubers doing this mid-year book tag video, and I figured it would be a good first video, so that is exactly what I'm doing. I have been watching a lot of booktubers do this video, and so I'm not totally sure who started this trend, but I specifically got the questions from Delaney Smith's YouTube video, but in her video, she said that she thinks that last year Sarah Caroli was the first person to do this. So if it was Sarah Caroli that was the very first one, amazing. You have made an awesome trend that is being used by everybody. So that is super cool. Just to preface this, I have literally only read 33 books since January, and a lot of them are not like super new, I wouldn't say. I think some of them are like ones that I've been able to read on my Kindle. This isn't going to be like the most up-to-date one, you know, as far as new releases and such, but I hope that it is still interesting to watch. The first question on this mid-year book tag is best book you've read so far in 2024, and for me that was Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, and boy oh boy, I think it was between the 5th and 10th book I read this year, probably closer to the 5th book, but oh my god, the trauma, actual trauma. I felt like I was like living through trauma. That the book was written so well, and I feel in a lot of ways I could relate, and there were a lot of ways that I couldn't, but I still felt myself feeling like the main character, Lydia. I just thought it was a great book. It was beautifully written and written really intensely in a way that makes you feel like you're in the story and you're dealing with, you know, the things that are going on with this family. And at the end of the book, I was just sobbing uncontrollably, like sobbing. Well, obviously there's always people who have critical opinions of books, as I have with certain books as well, but I don't know, it seems like most everyone likes the book, so I don't know. I loved it. The second question on this book tag is best sequel you've read so far in 2024, and I guess technically I've only read one sequel, and it was Books and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree, and I think that is technically the sequel to Legends and Lattes. I read them out of order, which I heard people people actually didn't like Books and Bone Dust compared to Legends and Lattes, even though it technically happens beforehand. I read them out of order, so I technically read them in chronological order, and I really liked both of them, so I don't know. But it was really cute. It was a really cozy little fantasy moment. I think most people liked it for what it was, which is just like a cute fantasy book. But the best sequel I think that I'll read in 2024 is gonna be the next book in the ACOTAR series, because I read Court of Thorns and Roses, And I have the next 2 books on the top shelf here, so I will hopefully be getting to them as soon as possible. I am predicting that that will probably be my favorite sequel, but if we're going specifically with what I have read so far, the only one is Books and Bone Dust. The third question on this list is new releases you haven't read yet but want to. So I am not at the level of, book girly to where I am really like looking in the future. So I kind of went on Goodreads and just looked up like new releases that are coming up. The one that struck me, I suppose, is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, and that is mostly just because I read the guest list and I really liked it. I think I gave it like 4.5 or 4 stars, not exactly 5, but I went on TikTok afterwards and kind of was looking at some people who have already read it, and they said that they really liked it, but I think it's not technically released until June 18th. No, well, wait, so then it's already been released by this time, so I guess I could go read it now. Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So I am chronically on TikTok, and I love Giraffe Wallow, and she just wrote a book called Loud, Accept Nothing Less Than the Life You Deserve. And I just think it's gonna be fantastic. She's like so hilarious. I watch her podcast all the time and love her TikToks, and she's amazing. I've already like pre-ordered it, so yeah, I've been waiting. Biggest surprise of 2024. I'm just assuming it means the biggest kind of twist surprise in a book. So that for me was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and oh my god, I did not see the ending coming, like, at all. I was flabbergasted. My gases have been flabbered. Like, what the actual heck? I thought the plot was like really cute, like, just these 2 women meeting seemingly by accident on their, what was it, 45th birthdays, and just out celebrating completely differently, living totally different lives. One seems to be very happy, and the other one seems to be kind of in a rut of sorts, I guess. But I was so shook. I didn't think I was gonna be gaslit the entire book. And then absolutely destroyed at the end. But I loved it. It was fantastic. Number 6 is favorite new author, debut or new to you. I mean, she's not debut anymore for sure. I guess she's new to me, but Sarah J. Maas. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the ACOTAR series, and then also the Throne and Glass series. And then I know she has like other series or books at least. None of them are coming to mind, of course. Continuing on with Sarah J. Maas. Number 7, newest fictional crush. I've only finished this book. So, Tamlin, I know I'm gonna be severely, I mean, I already kind of was disappointed by the end of this book. Because, like, what are you doing? I know, I've heard, trust me, my bestie, she's like, Rhysand. So, I don't know. I'm sure he will be my crush. But if we're talking about currently, I guess it's technically Tamlin. I know a lot of spoilers at this point to know that I shouldn't like Tamlin anymore, but if we're just going by what I should know, I guess Tamlin. But pretty soon it's gonna be Rhysand, I would guess. The 8th question on this book tag is a book that made you cry. I am an empath, so if there is any chance that a book will make someone cry, I will be crying. Not too difficult to make me cry, so for this I specifically looked for a book that I gave 5 stars, and I remember crying in at least once, probably a few times, and that was Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and I just love that book so much. Like, Marcellus, first off, sobbing at the end. I was not expecting to be like super into POV by an octopus, but it worked. And I did not see the connection. Maybe I'm like a little bit slower, but I didn't notice until like much, much, much further into the book. I really was like, okay, like, all right. I did not see the connection between Tova and Cameron at all. I think we were supposed to not like Cameron. I really didn't like him. Like, even until the end. Is that bad? The 9th question on this tag is book that made you happy. I cannot shut up about this book. Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by M.R. Albin. Victorian era historical fiction. Yeah. Sapphic? What? Yes, absolutely 100%. This book had me kicking my feet, giggling. Like, this is the cutest romance. If you haven't read it, go read it. Okay, so question number 10 on the tag is most beautiful book you've bought this year so far or received. I don't know if it's necessarily like the story was beautiful or the actual book is beautiful. I'm going quite literally the book. I bought this in a bookstore here. I don't know who this author is. They seem to have written quite a few books, so I'm sure they're amazing. The cover, like, what? Absolutely lovely. Gorgeous. This is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I have not read it yet, but it is on my TBR, so I'm hoping to get to it pretty soon. But I mean, it is just actually gorgeous. There's like gold, like it's like gold, like sprinkled gold around. That's definitely physically the most beautiful book I bought this year. The last question on the Meteor book tag is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I feel like I've said it a million times. You're probably like, shut up. But I'm gonna say it again. The rest of this series, I really need to finish it. I saw a few YouTubers adding their own questions onto this book tag, so I think I'm gonna do that as well. So my most difficult book, in the sense of like it took me a while to get through because I had to keep taking breaks because I was having a physical reaction at a few points, and that was Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Basterica. I had to leave this book and come back to it about 4 times, I believe, because I was getting like physically sick thinking about the things that are going on in that book. I like horror books and stuff, but I just, it kind of felt like a little bit too real for me in the sense of like, oh, I mean, like it could happen. There was a disease of sorts or infection that infected all of the animals, I guess, in the world. And so basically humans replaced livestock. Absolutely horrific. And like people just ended up eventually being okay with it, I guess. What? You can't stop eating meat? Really? Okay. And I literally finished it today and now I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm just trauma dumping on you, bestie. I don't know if I necessarily recommend to read it, but I definitely don't regret reading it, but it was like rough. My final yapping is a book that disappointed me. Finn by Stephen King. Really short. Not exactly sure what it would count as. I don't necessarily even know if I would like call it a book. I haven't seen a physical copy, so not sure. It was so painfully predictable that I was like disappointed. Cause like Stephen King, my man, I read it this year and I have Holly, or no, what did I have? I have Outsider, and then I actually was just thinking recently that I'm gonna buy Holly. It was disappointing in that sense that it was like I saw the ending from the beginning. When we got to the end, I was like, oh, okay. That's what I thought, you know? So there wasn't much that was like super exciting about it. Okay, so I just checked the Goodreads for Finn by Stephen King, and short story, not book. Seems like the overall consensus is 3 stars. My favorite review is by somebody named Chantal, and they gave it 1 star, and they said, not sure what this is really meant to be about. And yes, Chantal, absolutely, I agree with you. I don't know. Let me know if you know, because I'm very new to this. Maybe it just went totally over my head, and there is like some deeper, significant meaning to the short story that I and a lot of other people didn't understand. Well, that is all the questions that I found for this mid-year book tag. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I am really excited to start making more videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. It's my first video, so like, be kind, please. I have no idea what I'm doing. I live in Japan, so my access to English books is, physical English books at least, is a little bit more limited than I would love. I live in the countryside as well, which limits me even further, but I do often go to the city, which has bookstores that have an English section. There's one bookstore that I go to quite often that has 4 bookshelves, like front and back, filled with English books, which is nice. I would love to do some vlogs at the bookstore, but I am guessing that I will have a lot of like cozy reading vlogs and just like reviews and stuff. So if that's interesting to you, maybe subscribe. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I'm gonna link my socials down below. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, that sounds like something that YouTubers say, right? Okay, bye!